So it's very obvious by now that I absolutely love intermittent fasting, and you might be wondering, okay, Jackie, you say it's fabulous, but what are the downsides? And there are definitely some downsides to intermittent fasting, and I'm going to share them with you in this video. So even though I'm sharing these downsides with you, I want to remind you that I believe the benefits of intermittent fasting far outweigh any of these downsides, but it would be a lie to say there's nothing that I dislike about fasting. So let's get into what I don't love. Number one, dealing with constipation has really been awful. So when I first started fasting, I had a really runny stomach, if you know what I mean. As soon as I ate, I had to run to the bathroom, and it was almost like my stomach emptied itself the moment I ate. That was very short-lived. But what has stuck around is potential for constipation. I have learned that I need to drink a lot of water, which is fine. I like to drink water, but it helps me stay regular. And I take magnesium. I try to take it every day. I'm not like the most mindful of it. But if I start to get constipated, it's like, oh yeah, I haven't been super regular with my magnesium. I try to take 400 milligrams a day. I think I buy Nature's Way 400 milligrams over the counter. Check with your physician because it is considered like a large dose. I take it, it helps me stay regular and drinking a lot of water. But constipation really can be an awful thing to deal with. It's lower on my things I dislike about fasting because I feel like it's pretty easily managed through water and magnesium for me personally. But I know some people have larger issues with it, and it can be really an awful situation. You don't feel good when you're constipated, and you just feel more of that bloat, which then makes you feel like maybe you potentially gained weight. I like to be regular. I like to not hold on to that, and water and magnesium help me deal with the crappy situation of constipation. Number two, it's something that I just have to take the time to figure out, and I'm really bad about doing that because it's overwhelming, is shopping for new clothes. I have lost roughly 30 to 35 pounds. My weight fluctuates still here and there, but I wasn't wearing proper clothes because I was too heavy to wear them, and now clothes that I had obviously don't fit me. I still don't know exactly what size I wear, and it's very hard to figure that out, and I don't know what brands of clothes I like. I don't know how to style my body. I don't know what looks good on me, and it's really hard for me because I'm not a super fashion person, and it's hard for me to feel invested in money and the time it takes to dress myself. So I recently just bought this tank top at a consignment store. It was like $2, and that's the way I like to shop. But I like to dress pretty plain, and I just really need to find what shapes and what cuts and everything work well for this body, because even when I weighed this and I was a similar size when I was 17, 18, I had a much different body. You know, I'm a mom now. I've had 3 children. I have carried life. I've breastfed 3 kids. And I just have such a different body than I've ever had in my entire life. It's hard for me to dress in bras and underwear, pants and tops. I enjoy the smaller body because I visually like what I see more. I feel healthier. I feel better. But it's really hard for me to know what clothes are good for me, and it's just not an arena I've ever put a lot of thought or time into. So I definitely need to spend more time, but I don't know what fits or what size I am, and I still wear some of my old clothes, which I know looks baggy and messy, but that's one thing I just don't like. So the first 2 are minor-ish because I can deal with them quite easily. The last 4 are the worst ones. Number 3, leftovers. I used to call myself our family's dump truck because I would eat all of the leftovers for my lunch, sometimes for breakfast if it was cold pizza. Because I'm eating 1 meal a day, I am no longer the leftover lady. I don't eat leftovers for my lunch every day, which is how I used to take care of leftovers. That is what my lunch was. And there are a few things that I've done to help reduce waste. I have tried to be more mindful of making right-sized portions. If I'm making cheesy potatoes for my family of 5, I don't need to make a dish to pass size. If I'm making soup, I don't need to make soup that fills up my entire Instant Pot. I can try to right-size my portions. I also offer leftovers. I have a number of neighbors that I offer them to, and my in-laws. I offer leftovers to people that I think might like them. Offering food to people has actually worked out really well and helps me to reduce my leftovers. if I don't make the right size portions and I don't have a taker for the leftovers, I do also try to now meal plan 1 day a week where I either make food from our pantry or we use leftovers if we have enough leftovers. And then finally, if it comes down to it, guess what? I will throw food away. And it's not my favorite thing to do. It is my last resort and my last option, and it still is something that bothers me to throw food away. However, I do also realize that me eating it when I don't need it or want it is not any less wasteful than me throwing it away. Even though I have officially taken off my crown as Queen Leftover Lady, I do believe that I'm trying to make it better where I'm still not wasting as much food. But throwing food away that once would have been my lunch still bothers me from time to time. Number 4, dealing with negative people in my life. Online, it bothers me less because I can ignore it, and I get so many comments between my channels, I don't see all the comments. There are just some people that literally don't want to believe in intermittent fasting is healthy for you. It doesn't matter if I tell them about my blood test, my fatty liver going away, losing weight, losing a foot fungus I've had for over a decade, my eyesight improving, I feel better, I'm no longer obsessed about what I ate, how much I shouldn't have ate. It doesn't matter what you tell them, they're going to tell you that you're wrong and that you're not doing well for yourself. And these people that are insistent on being wrong, wait, I slipped, I didn't mean to say it. These people that are insistent on being negative and in my opinion wrong, it's just really hard to deal with them. They don't care what you have to say. They just want to tell you that you are doing something bad for yourself. They won't listen, and that kind of behavior drives me crazy. When I first started intermittent fasting, I had a friend who, no matter what I said, she had a retort that was super negative back, and I just decided I won't tell her about intermittent fasting anymore. I don't care. Because I'm not doing it for anyone other than myself, and I have been doing it for over 2 years, and I know how much it has impacted my life, how much it's bettered my life. But there are people that just want to piss on your parade no matter what you do sometimes. And you just have to deal with them. So if someone is doing that to you, I'm sorry, I know how crappy it feels. The best way to deal with that kind of stuff is be confident in what you're doing and how you're feeling. So if you're feeling amazing, you're reading the books, and you have the knowledge, even if you can't like regurgitate it. I'm not really good at remembering the ins and outs of insulin. I just believe it because I've read it enough. You need to have the background knowledge. You need to have the experience. Know that you're feeling good, that you're doing good, and ignore the people that are just bound and determined to be negative about intermittent fasting, because they're out there. I've experienced them in my own personal life, and there's a lot of them online. But can anyone tell you that you're not feeling good? No. Is anyone going to say your blood tests from your physician are wrong? No, they have no authority over those areas of my life, and I'm not going to give it to them. But it still is annoying to deal with. Drink break. When I talk too long, my voice gets really cracky and I need a drink break. And if you're curious, I'm drinking iced tea right now. My absolute least favorite are these last two. Ugh. Number 5, being cold. I'm fine in the summer. It actually probably helps me in the summer because I really like warm weather. I don't mind being hot. Sweat isn't my favorite, but I can deal with it much better than being cold. So when it's hot here in Michigan, I'm fine. I have no complaints. As soon as it starts to get chilly all through the winter, we know Michigan has horrible winters. I am cold all the time. I get questions about this. Jackie, do you feel cold all the time? Yes, I do. I always feel cold, except for when it's like majorly hot out. But in the winter, I layer myself up. I will wear socks with slippers, with sweatpants, with a hoodie, and then I put this major like hooded blanket on top of myself that is fleece and Sherpa lined. It is so cozy, but I'll still be cold, because if it's cold outside and then it's cold in my house and I'm fasting, I am just cold. I don't know the science to do with it, but it's ever since I've been fasting. I've never liked being cold like prior to being a faster, but it has been amplified since I've been a faster. I really cannot do anything about it. The longer I fast, the colder I get. And I just layer, put myself under blankets. I hibernate. I probably look like a mom peeking out from a pile of craziness, but I don't care. I want to be comfortable. So in the winter, I look like nothing but a clearance fabric rack because it's all on me. And I walk around like Ralphie's brother in the Christmas Story, puffy and finally warm. But being cold is annoying. and I don't love it. But it comes with the territory, and I will deal with it to have all the benefits of fasting. Number 6, the absolute worst one that I cannot stand is bad breath. I hate it, but I will still take the benefits of fasting even with the bad breath. I have what is described, I think, in the keto world as keto breath. When I am in fat burning mode, I get the taste in my mouth. I know it's my breath. Sorry to the people around me. Be grateful you're on the other side of the screen. I brush my teeth twice a day. I use mouthwash. I use the tongue scraper. I gargle. If I'm ever in a scenario where I feel like my breath is going to be so bad and I'm still fasting, I will break the clean fast and I'll put a Listerine breath strip on because my sanity is worth it. And I don't want to be stressed the entire PTA meeting or volunteering at my daughter's class. Or I just make sure I have hot coffee with me and I'm constantly downing coffee. So at the very least, I have coffee breath, not, what is that breath? One thing that's really helped is I got my tonsils out in December, not because of bad breath, but I had tonsil crypts and I constantly had tonsil stones, which is like harboring bacteria in there. And my breath significantly improved, but it didn't go away once I got my tonsils out. But I do have bad breath and I know it. Funny story, I was at a family Christmas. This is before my tonsils were out, so I know it was worse then. But I had just seen my brother, and you gotta love family. But he was like, oh my God, Jackie, what is going on with your breath? And I was not even that close to him. And if it had been anyone else, I would have been mortified. But then it made me like realize like how many times does that happen? And I don't even know it because these people are more polite than your brother talks to you. And I say that like loving my brother. But it was hilarious to me and also a little eye-opening. So I do carry Listerine breath strips because I would rather make my fast a little harder and save myself. I don't think taking Listerine breath strips is gonna make it like fat burning mode killed, you lost it, you're a loser. No, I think it's going to maybe make me hungrier, or it's going to make it harder to continue fasting. But I would much rather deal with the little bit of like, hey, are we gonna eat? You gave me this flavor. Are we about to eat feeling? And know that my breath isn't like killing someone on the other side of me in a social setting. So that is my least favorite part about fasting is the keto breath from fat burning. If you have a supplement that you take, please leave it in the comments below if you have something that helps like kill the bad breath before it starts. But with all that being said, I would not give up any of the benefits that I've received from intermittent fasting to not deal with bad breath. Like, if I must, then I will. And sorry. I'm sorry. Aren't you glad it's not smell-o-vision? Having masks on for a majority of the last 2 years really was actually helpful as I was beginning my journey, especially before my tonsils came out. It's not nearly as bad. It's still can be pretty awful though. Even though those aren't fun items to deal with, I still would take the intermittent fasting lifestyle over my previous lifestyle. The benefits far outweigh the negatives, and I definitely think that most people find that to be the case. Enough negative talk. If you want to see one of my favorite things about intermittent fasting, check out me, my hubby, going on a date night. I love OMAD when it's date night. Nothing beats it. It is the highlight of any day if I get a date night with OMAD. So check it out right here. Thank you so much for watching. Ciao, donna, ciao.